Okay, that's the first word problem. The investment. Okay, we have two investments produce an annual interest income of $4,200. The amount invested in 14% is $6,000 less than the amount invested in 10% account. We want to find the amount invested in 14%. Okay, we have some students online tonight. Let's see who can tell me what would be the first step. Anyone with the microphone can start the first step. Okay, in this case we want to let x equal to something. Okay, if you don't know how to start the problem, you can go ahead and put the x in front of your name so I don't ask you the question. But if you know, you can just at this point grab a mic and tell me what do you want to let x be equal to in this case, do you think?
Would x be the amount invested?
Okay, x would be the amount invested in which account?
In the 14%.
Okay, so amount invested in 14%. We have two accounts here. The amount invested in 14%, it says, is $6,000 less than the amount invested in 10%. So anyone else wants to tell me what x would be?
So that'd be the amount invested into the 10%, and then it'd be x minus 6,000 would be invested in the 14%.
Very good, because everything is in terms of the amount invested in 10% account. So we're going to let x equal to the amount invested in 10%, then the amount invested in 14% then would be 6,000 less than that. So that would be x minus 6,000 then. Okay. So we have two accounts now. The amount we're going to invest in the first account, 10%, we're assuming to be equal to x, and the amount invested in the other account, 14%, we're going to let equal to x minus 6,000. Okay, can somebody tell me what would be the next step here?
Would you just set up the equation, so it'd be x plus x minus 6,000 equals the total of 4,200?
Okay, so we're going to write x times 10% plus x minus 6,000 times 14%. That should be equal to 4,200. Okay, so this is how you set up the equation. Alright, to solve for x, who wants to tell me what do we do next? Okay, Hal, you wanna try?
I think you multiply the x with the 10%, and you also do it to the 14% with the x minus 6,000.
So let's convert 10% to the decimal. Divide this by 100, that will give me 0.1. And 14% divide 100 into 14, they give you 0.14. And then now we can distribute here. So we would get can I eliminate the decimal here, Hal? How can I eliminate
Yeah,
the decimal?
you can eliminate it. I'm getting a phone call, sorry, Professor.
Okay, Hal's getting a phone call. Let's see who else. Sharice? Okay, you put the X front of your name. Let's see, who else? Karen, you want to tell me what do we do next?
I just
How can you eliminate
distributed.
the decimal here?
I just distributed to the x, but I still have the decimal.
Okay. Karen, if I wanted to eliminate the decimal, what do I have to multiply each term with?
By 100.
Good. So let's do that. Let's go ahead and multiply each term by 100. So we can eliminate the decimal. So the first term here would get 100 times 0.1. They give me 10, and then we have an x here would be 10x plus, and the second term here, if I multiply this by 100, they give me 14 times x minus 6,000, and then we have to multiply 4,200 by 100, and this is what we get, 420,000. Now we can distribute. You do this if you want to eliminate the decimal. So we get 10x plus, here we get 14x minus, now we multiply 6,000 by 14, get 84,000 is equal to 420,000. So now we can combine like terms. So here we get 24x. We can go ahead and add 84,000 to both sides of the equation. So on the left-hand side, we have 10x plus 14x, that gives me 24x. And the right-hand side, I would get 504,000. So can somebody tell me what this x is equal to?
$210,000.
Right, so we divide 24 into this number. That would give me
15,000?
15,000.
Oh, sorry, 21,000.
21,000, yeah. 21,000. Just divide 24 into this number, get 21,000. Okay, so this would be the amount that we invest in which account, anyone?
The 14%.
Well, let's go back to what we assumed here. We assumed that X be the amount invested in 10%, right? So this is what we find X. So X would be...
That's the 10% account, excuse me. And then the 6,000 less. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. So, exactly. So we have 21,000 would be the amount invested in 10% account, and then to find out how much invested into other account, 14%, we will subtract 6,000 from that. So what do we get when we do this?
$15,000.
Right, that would be 15,000. So this is how you set up problems like this that involve investment problems. You should let X equal to the amount that you invest in one of the accounts. Since everything is here in terms of how much you invest in 10% account, you let X equal to the amount invested in 10% account, and then here it says the amount invested in 14% would be 6,000 less than that, so it would be X minus 6,000. And then from here we set up the equation and we solve for X. And here we decided to eliminate the decimal by multiplying each term by 100, and we solve for X. Okay. Can I see a check mark in front of your name if all can follow this? You're okay with this? If you have any questions, now would be a good time to ask.